Good evening and welcome back to another episode of The Longing. Today we are going to be continuing to read Homer's Iliad. I keep nearly saying Moby Dick when that's not what we're reading. So, let's get going, shall we? So spoke the guardian of the Trojan state, then rushed impetuous through the Scaean gate. Him Paris followed to the dire alarms, both breathing slaughter, both resolved in arms. As when to sailors labouring through the main, that long have heaved the weary oar in vain, Jove bids at length the expected gales arise, the gales blow grateful, and the vessel flies. So welcome these to Troy's desiring train, the bands are cheered, the war awakes again. Bold Paris first the work of death begun, on great Menesthius, Areithus' son. Sprung from the fair Philomeda's embrace, the pleasing Arne was his native place. Then sunk Aeonius to the shades below, beneath his steely casque he felt the blow. 177. Full on his neck from Hector's weighty hand, and rolled with limbs relaxed along the land. By Glaucus' spear the bold Iphimus bleeds, fixed in the shoulder as he mounts his steeds. Headlong he tumbles, his slack nerves unbound, drop the cold useless members on the ground. When now Minerva saw Argives slain, from vast Olympus to the gleaming plain, fierce she descends, Apollo marked her flight, nor shot less swift from Ilion's towery height. Radiant they met beneath the beechen shade, when thus Apollo to the blue-eyed maid, "What cause, O daughter of almighty Jove, thus wings thy progress from the realms above? Once more impetuous dost thou bend thy way, to give to Greece the long-divided day. Too much has Troy already felt thy hate, now breathe thy rage and hush the stern debate. This day the business of the field suspend, war soon shall kindle and great Ilion bend. Since vengeful goddesses confederate join, to raise her walls, though built by hands divine. To whom the progeny of Jove replies, I left for this the counsel of the skies. But who shall bid conflicting hosts forbear? What art shall calm the furious sons of war? To her the god great Hector's soul incite, to dare the boldest Greek to single fight, till Greece provoked from all her numbers show a warrior worthy to be Hector's foe. At this agreed the heavenly powers withdrew, sage Helenus their secret counsel knew. Hector inspired he sought to him addressed, thus told the dictates of his sacred breast. O son of Priam, let thy faithful ear receive my words, thy friend and brother hear. Go forth persuasive, I don't know why I failed with that word. Go forth persuasive, and while engage the warring nations to suspend their rage. Then dare the boldest of the hostile train to mortal combat on the listed plain. For not this day shall end thy glorious date. The gods have spoke it, and their voice is fate. He said, the warrior heard the word with joy, then with his spear restrained the youth of Troy. Held by the midst athwart on either hand, the squadrons part, the expecting Trojans stand. Great Agamemnon bids the Greeks forbear, they breathe and hush the tumult of the war. The Athenian maid and glorious god of day, 178, with silent joy the settling hosts survey. In form of vultures on the beach's height, they sit concealed and wait the future fight. The thronging troops obscure the dusky fields, horrid with bristling spears and gleaming shields. As when a general darkness veils the main, soft zephyr curling the wide watery plain. The waves scarce heave, the face of ocean sleeps, and a still horror saddens all the deeps. Thus in thick orders settling wide around, at length composed they sit and shade the ground. Great Hector first amidst both armies broke the solemn silence, and their powers bespoke. Hear all ye Trojan, all ye Grecian bands, what my soul prompts, and what some god commands. Great Jove averse our warfare to compose, o'erwhelms the nations with new toils and woes. War with a fiercer tide once more returns, till Ilion falls, or till yon navy burns. You then, O princes of the Greeks, appear. 'Tis Hector speaks, and calls the gods to hear. From all your troops select the boldest knight, and him the boldest Hector dares to fight. Here if I fall, by chance of battle slain, be his my spoil, and his these arms remain. But let my body, to my friends returned, by Trojan hands and Trojan flames be burned. And if Apollo, in whose aid I trust, shall stretch your daring champion in the dust, if mine the glory to despoil the foe, on Phoebus' temple I'll his arms bestow. The breathless carcass to your navy sent, Greece on the shore shall raise a monument, which when some future mariner surveys, washed by broad Hellespont's resounding seas, thus shall he say, a valiant Greek lies there, by Hector slain, the mighty man of war. The stone shall tell your vanquished hero's name, and distant ages learn the victor's fame. This fierce defiance Greece astonished heard, blushed to refuse, and to accept it feared. Stern Menelaus first the silence broke, and inly groaning thus opprobrious spoke. Women of Greece, O scandal of your race, whose coward souls your manly form disgrace, how great the shame when every age shall know that not a Grecian met this noble foe. Go then resolve to earth from whence ye grew, a heartless, spiritless, inglorious crew. Be what ye seem, unanimated clay. Myself will dare the danger of the day. 'Tis man's bold task the generous strife to try, but in the hands of God is victory. These words scarce spoke, with generous ardour pressed, his manly limbs in azure arms he dressed. That day Atrides, a superior hand, had stretched thee breathless on the hostile strand. But all at once thy fury to compose, the kings of Greece, an awful band, arose. Even he, their chief, great Agamemnon, pressed thy daring hand, and this advice addressed. Whither, O Menelaus, wouldst thou run, and tempt a fate which prudence bids thee shun? Grieved though thou art, forbear the rash design. Great Hector's arm is mightier far than thine. Even fierce Achilles learned its force to fear, and trembling met this dreadful son of war. Sit thou secure amidst thy social band. Greece in our cause shall arm some powerful hand. The mightiest warrior of the Achaean name, though bold and burning with desire of fame, content the doubtful honour might forego, so great the danger and so brave the foe. He said, and turned his brother's vengeful mind. He stooped to reason, and his rage resigned. No longer bent to rush on certain harms, his joyful friends embrace his azure arms. And with that, we come to the end of the episode. So, thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you all have a wonderful morning, evening, afternoon, or night. No matter what time of day it is, I hope you have a wonderful one of it. And as always, we will be back tomorrow for more of The Longing. Goodbye.